Hello everyone, my presentation is about IV and EV in the education system and how it helps towards quality assurance and accountability. So first of all, what is IV? An IV stands for an internal verification or verifier. It refers to work done in an internal setting, organisation, school or college. They work in partnership with an external verification verifier, so that's EV. Internal verifiers not only support assessors and check assessment instructions, but also arrange for the sampling of coursework. So they check all the units, assessments, exams and observations are done to the standards that are required depending on the awarding body. And they work towards quality assurance, so it's done to measure the quality assurance within the organisation. So we have three models of internal verification here that are supported by some of the awarding bodies. So they have a lead internal verifier. So the main responsibility is placed on a few members of teaching staff. They carry out internal verification of particular units. And we have the peer review, which is some or all members of staff take responsibility of both assessing and verifying the unit. So maybe one staff member will assess or verify a piece of work and then it may be passed on to a second member of staff to also assess this. And then we have the single assessment, which is usually take part in small centres or organisations. The benefits of IV and the limitations. So it protects the right of candidates, so it's done to make sure that the candidates feel that they're given a fair assessment, helps maintain standards of internal assessment qualifications, supports teachers and lecturers carrying out internal assessment, helps to prepare for external assessment. So the benefits of IV are for the students, reassuring them. It's done to protect their organisation, so everything's done in line with standards again. And then it's also done to prepare for the external assessment. So once the EV come in, everything is up to date and it can be passed and logged in correctly. Then we have the limitations. So there can be a really high workload. I've seen it myself within the beauty department, the marking, the assessing, the observations, the paperwork is massive. So it can be really straining on an individual. Staff may not be trained or skilled in evaluation, so that could be a problem. Experience, if the staff member hasn't got experience in evaluation or assessments, when there's such a high workload, it can become risky. And then time consuming within teaching, planning, an extra workload of internal verifying, it can be quite hard. Then we have the EV. So that's the external verifier. It works for an awarding body and not the education establishment. The EV will be allocated by the awarding body and they make visits throughout the academic year to assess and observe what's going on. And then they will provide a written report and advice on any recommendations, action points that need to be completed. And they will also be checking if previous year's action points have been taken into consideration. The benefits: gives a fair assessment of the setting's competence to deliver the qualification. Its previous action points should be worked on, and the role of the EV is to ensure that your setting is in line with others and the wider standards of the qualification. And the limitations is not having an understanding of the organisation. So if somebody's coming into the beauty department, they have to understand the beauty world, the observations, the client care, the consultation forms. I think it's having that understanding of that specialism. The cost can be quite high calling in an EV, and it can affect confidence of the student. So if a student is called and interviewed and asked, they may feel like they need to say something to make it sound good. So it can affect the confidence of the student. And then if we link this to quality and assurance, I do believe that it has a massive effect on the quality assurance, because if everything is assessed and observed in a department, it should come back that this department is doing great, it's meeting the standards, and then you will have more students and more positive outcome for more students attending your course. So verifying logbooks, observations and exams, I think it does link highly to quality assurance and accountability, and if anything is wrong, it can be picked up. So I think it does affect it, and in my opinion, I think it's a good way to get quality assurance done. And then my recommendations, I think, because it's quite a good technique used to have good quality assurance. I think just keeping up the workload up to date. The verifiers must have up to date CPD, which is recommended by most of their awarding bodies anyway, and then complete reports to time scale given. So all their reports must be given in time back to the colleges and organisations in time, so they can improve their action points given. So yes, I do believe that quality assurance and accountability through the IV and EV is achieved if done correctly, and it can pick up any negative or flaws within a system and help them to improve. So thank you very much.